Am I the a-hole for telling my dad he has to decide between me attending his wedding and accepting I won't take part in the family unity ceremony or accept I won't be there? My dad's engaged to his partner of about 2 years. They moved in together last month, and their wedding is in December. I, 17 male, am my dad's only biological kid. His almost wife has 3 kids of her own. Her kids are younger, like under 10. Maybe they're even all under 8. I'm not that sure. They decided they want to do a family unity ceremony and have it be about becoming one family instead of the 2 of them just being a married couple. Her kids are excited by the idea and want to take part. I don't and won't take part. I already explained to my dad that I'm not interested and can't be talked into it. He asked me why and pushed for me to reconsider. He told his fiancée, and she's freaking out because her kids have this idea that they'll get a big brother out of this marriage, and my dad and she told the kids we'll be real siblings once the 2 of them are married. All of this despite the fact I really don't know her or her kids. I've only spent any real time with the kids twice, and it was more me trying not to be a prick than me wanting to spend time or get to know them. I think that's obvious because I don't even know their actual ages. Some background to explain some relationship dynamics, because I'm sure there are questions. My dad raised me alone. My mom took off when I was less than a year old. I don't remember her. I don't remember her being around. Her family wasn't around or in my life either. I didn't have a lot of family besides my dad growing up, except for one of his siblings. And for most of my life, Dad was a good dad. But when I was maybe 11, he started preparing me for the fact he wanted his own life and to travel the world when I turned 18, and I'd be on my own. He talked about how I shouldn't expect to see him very often, and to expect we might not see each other for years sometimes, and how he didn't want to be tied down until he dies, that he would call or answer calls when he wasn't busy with life. He said some stuff that made me believe he resented the fact he raised me alone and had to change his life for me. He never actually let up on that. He talked about it so much that we started to fight. I told him I got it, that he was done being a dad at 18, and he told me I was being dramatic. I argued that he told me I could go 5 or even more years without seeing him, and that he didn't want to be tied down, that he might even ignore calls so he could live life. I told him that sounded like he wanted to stop being a dad. He told me I focused on the wrong parts. When we argued about it other times, he said that he wanted the life he missed out on, and he wasn't waiting around for me to be ready, that I'd land on my feet eventually, and I wouldn't be his kid anymore. I'd be his peer, which he then said I misunderstood. But basically, for years I have been prepared to leave at 18 and not have my dad in my life. Then he met his almost wife, and all that talk about traveling the world was gone. He started to become a dad to her kids. He was spending time with them and building a life with them. Eventually, he tried to include me, but that was only really in the last 4 or 5 months. I've ignored it. I did babysit twice for them. Once when his almost wife was rushed to the hospital, and the second time when she had follow-up surgery for health issues she has. My dad has tried to argue that our family's growing, and I should be trying harder to be included in it. I told him that won't happen. And if he wants whatever half-hearted relationship he planned to have with me before, then he needs to accept that. That I'll come to his wedding if he wants me there, as long as he accepts I won't be a part of that ceremony. And if he can't accept it, then I won't go, and he'll need to accept that. His almost wife heard us talk it out and said, I'm not taking the 11 good years into account, and I'm punishing her children for my dad not being perfect, and that isn't fair to them. She told me a good person would be glad Dad decided to stick around and love the new people, especially the kids, and want better for them. Am I the a-hole? And for full disclosure, I have about a month to go until I'm 18, and my plan is to move out that day. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your dad set the parameters of your relationship when you were still young and drummed them into your head. Now that his priorities have changed, he acts surprised that you are not interested in a different relationship. Go live your life. He must have expected me to be the same upset 11-year-old who first found out what his dad had planned. But I knew he was serious, so I thought about and planned for when that time comes. Exactly. I'm just thinking I'm little you, hearing all this and wondering what your future would hold if you couldn't make it on your own at 18. This is not a good parent, by the way, regardless of how you may have felt he was good to you before all that. 11-year-old me was so sad and worried. It felt like nobody wanted me. My mom hadn't wanted me and left, and my dad was basically saying he regretted sticking around to raise me and would leave once he wouldn't get in trouble for it. I had no idea what I was going to do. Next story. Am I the a-hole for saying okay when my mom's husband said he won't be coming to my wedding? My 29 female was supposed to be getting married last year, but my dad died days before the wedding, and I couldn't go through with it. Luckily, the venue we had chosen was willing to reschedule us at short notice on compassionate grounds. Our new wedding date is this summer. My mom's husband announced a couple of weekends ago that he won't be coming to my wedding. I said okay, and moved on in the conversation I was having with someone else. He was seething with rage over my response, and asked me if okay was really all I could say. No question about why or trying to change his mind. I told him I had expected this, and that he basically told me he was going to do this last year anyway, so why would I pretend to be shocked or beg? To provide some more context, my mom married her husband when I was 15. I didn't get to know him before the wedding, so I met him at 15. I don't consider him a father figure, and I never called him my stepdad. My older siblings felt the same way. He never put much effort in with them because they were 18 and 21 when he married mom, so I guess he felt like they were fine without him. But it always felt kinda weird because I wasn't some little kid either, and I had an involved dad. Last year added some tension. He ended up in the hospital 2 weeks before the wedding and wouldn't have made it if the day had gone ahead then. He was bitter that I rescheduled because dad died, but not so he could be there. There were also some hard feelings over me planning to walk down the aisle and dance with dad, and not him. He whined about it a few weeks after dad died and said he wouldn't come if he was so unimportant. At the time, I said nothing because my grief was fresh. But now I'm just like, okay, because I don't care if he's there or not. I really don't. His presence will not make or break my wedding. He felt like I should have argued for him to come, and mom said my okay was dismissive and rude. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Sounds like it's for the best. He's kind of a needy man-child, isn't he? Not the a-hole. I guess little man baby wanted you to be upset, beg him to come. Honestly, you handled this perfectly. Indifference is always the answer when someone is clearly trying to get a reaction. Any other response gives them the win. Indifference shows them that they are not important enough to you to care. He did. He wanted me to show him I cared oh so much. He expected me to plead with him and even expected tears, I think. The fact is, he's still bitter. I didn't reschedule my wedding because of his hospital stay, but did when my dad died. Not the a-hole. Stepdad sounds like a self-involved jerk, and your mother honestly sounds pretty bad as well. Your wedding is not about them. I'd recommend having some kind of plan for if A, he decides to crash the wedding, or B, your mother decides to make a scene. I have a plan in place just in case. My brother-in-law will be on standby. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to be my sister's bridesmaid because she chose ugly friends to make herself look better? My sister, 27 female, is getting married and asked me, 24 female, to be one of her bridesmaids. I was excited until I found out who the rest of the bridal party was. Every single one of them is someone she's either not that close to or has made fun of before for being awkward or not photogenic. Some of her actual best friends, the ones she sees all the time, weren't even asked. It felt weird, so I asked her why she picked this group. She kind of laughed and said, "You'll understand when it's your wedding. You don't want people who'll outshine you in your own pictures." I just stared at her. I asked, "So you picked them because you think they'll make you look better?" She rolled her eyes and said, "It's not that deep. I just want to feel confident that day, and I'm allowed to be a little selfish for my wedding." That rubbed me the wrong way. I told her I didn't want to be part of a bridal party built on tearing other people down, even subtly, and that she should have picked people she actually cares about. Now she's calling me judgmental and sensitive, and our mom says I'm being too idealistic and should just support her. but I feel like going along with it makes me complicit. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. So what does this mean about how she thinks of you? And clearly she doesn't think much about herself. It's so sad that women are pushed to feel and act this way when this would likely not be happening to so many grooms. Applause to you for saying something and not participating. She's always been like this. I am rather curvy, and she has never failed to shame me for it. She is a typical model-esque skinny person, and she got a lot of attention growing up. She's beautiful, no doubt. But yes, I have a good-looking partner, and she has subtly hinted that he could do better than me. I don't see what she has to be insecure about. She's objectively good-looking. As for my appearance, I like the way I look. I'm comfortable with it. I just don't see why she feels the need to bring others down to make herself feel better. Not the a-hole, and I'd send a message to those girls. Questions will definitely come up why none of her core group were asked, and why her sister left. Because she lumped you right in with them. I actually did. I made a group with all these people. There's a group already, but she's in it. 2 of them said that they did not want to be participating in this capacity anymore, but were fine attending. One person said that they weren't coming to the wedding altogether. Some still haven't responded. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex's girlfriend she isn't special, and he will do it to her too? I, 30 female, was only married to my ex-husband, 32 male, for 2 years. We dated for a little over a year before we got married. When we were dating, everything was fine. He had a lower libido than me, but I was fine with how often he wanted to have sex, about 2 to 3 times a week. Once we got married, that gradually dropped to maybe twice a month, and then nothing. The last time he and I had sex was on my birthday. My birthday is April 24th, so it's been almost a year now. I asked him to see a doctor. I asked him if there was anything I could do. I tried everything I could think of. He wasn't on any medication. He just wasn't interested in it. I ended up starting the divorce because I'm not living the rest of my life like this. When I started the divorce, his ex-wife asked to meet with me and said she hadn't wanted to get involved earlier because she didn't know if I was asexual as well, but that he had done the same thing to her and the girlfriend before her. We are still working on the divorce. Thankfully, it is a fairly easy process since we weren't married long and none of our assets were merged, bank accounts, property, etc. We also do not have any children together. Anyway, he is now dating a woman named Amy, 24. Amy has shown up to every divorce hearing lately and acts smug about it, like she's winning some sort of prize. She has told me he has sex with her all the time and that I just wasn't meeting his needs. I ended up telling her he did the exact same thing to me. He did it to his other ex-wife and he did it to the girlfriend before her. She isn't special, and give it a few months. He won't continue this. He is asexual. He's just trying to lock her in before he goes cold on her. She looked shocked and just said she doubts that, then left. Later, my ex called and was mad. He said she's thinking about leaving after what I said and has gotten in contact with some of his exes. I don't really feel sorry for him because it's underhanded and holish to do that to people. But I do kind of feel bad for ruining his relationship. I told him he should stop doing this and find someone who is also asexual, or he will never be happy in a relationship. I'm not sure if I was an a-hole for telling her, but I felt like she should know he's doing the same thing to her that he did to us. And I wish someone would have told me before I married him. I wasn't super nice about it, because she ticked me off, but still, I felt like she should know she wasn't the special one who would fix him. Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. She was smug. You told her the truth. If he keeps doing the same thing, that's on him, not you. Not the a-hole. If you had gone rogue and told her this without provocation, then sure, maybe you'd be the a-hole. But she was the one bragging about how much sex they were having to her boyfriend's soon-to-be ex. That kind of opened the door free and clear to you to tell her that won't always be the case. You weren't being mean. You were being honest. You told her the truth based on your experience and others. If someone had warned you, maybe you would have been spared a lot of pain. She deserved to know what might be coming. Last story. Am I the a-hole for going into detail of my crappy day to make a mother leave me alone? I, 22, female, have blonde hair that goes past my hips. I love my hair and put a lot of work into maintaining it, but you can imagine the comments I sometimes get, being compared to Rapunzel, etc. And normally I laugh this off. If it's a little kid, I indulge them more often than not, as it's cute. I've had a really rough day. My 11-year-old dog had to be put down due to cancer, and I went from the vets to a cafe, not wanting to go home and see her things and be reminded of it all over again. So I'd been sitting at a table with a coffee, waiting for my boyfriend, 23 male, to finish work and come meet me, when a mother and her daughter, who looked about 8-ish, I don't know, I'm not good with kids' ages, it's a guesstimate, came up to me and asked if her daughter could take a picture with me because I looked just like Rapunzel. As I said, normally I'd indulge this, but I was not in the mood. I was in a low mood and had been crying a lot, so I felt gross. I told them thank you for the compliment, but I didn't want to take a picture. The mother got really upset with me and told me I didn't have to be rude and that I didn't even smile, that it would cost me nothing to be nice, and that her daughter was just a kid. I admit I lost my temper at this and told her I wasn't a Disney cast member for her to badger. That she asked, and I said no, that I had just put my dog down and was hiding at this cafe because I was dreading going home to a house without my dog. That I had no interest in posing and putting on a happy face to take a picture with her child. I also started to cry again. She got very flustered at this and rushed her child away. My boyfriend finally got to the cafe around half an hour later, and I told him what had happened. He told me I took it too far, that just because I was having a crappy day didn't mean I needed to make other people's crappy too. I ended up going home not long after. Maybe I was too rude, I don't know. It's too late to do anything about it. She was a stranger. I just feel raw emotionally. My boyfriend might be viewing my actions with a clearer head than I am. Not the a-hole. People feel so entitled. Once politely declining, the mother should have walked away. I'm sure you weren't looking smiley and happy like Rapunzel. This is a lesson for the kid. Don't talk to strangers. Kidding, kinda. Honestly, I have no idea why she'd have wanted me in a picture with her kid. I didn't have a mirror on hand, but no way was my face not a blotchy mess. Not the a-hole. That idiot had no business bothering you at all, let alone getting angry when you said no. I see this a lot here. No is a complete sentence. Now, as long as you weren't rude to the 8-year-old, the entitled mother deserved the trauma dump. Oh, absolutely not. No matter how upset I was, I'd never take it out on a child. I'd have sooner removed myself from the cafe before that if it was the kid badgering me.